Okay, I've been sitting on this story since March 22nd, but let's go for it. It is impossible to cover everything that is happening in a day. That doesn't mean that stories from just like 5 or 6 days ago are not still entirely relevant. I know that the pace of the media feels so rapid, but the things that happened just a few days ago still need to be at the forefront of our minds, and they can't get buried in whatever is coming in subsequent days. So this is a story from Talking Points Memo. I don't care what you think. They have had pretty freaking accurate reporting so far. IRS predicts DOGE lost $500 billion for the USA. This is by Josh Marshall. It came out on March 22nd. Right, we know that this regime is claiming that DOGE is finding waste, fraud, and abuse. Except that they're not. Not only are they not finding waste, fraud, and abuse to cut, they are creating waste. They are costing us, the taxpayers, you and me, loads of money. Just a few days ago on the 22nd, the Post reported that the IRS's internal projections estimate that the DOGE-driven disruptions to the IRS since the inauguration are on track to have reduced tax receipts by more than $500 billion by just less than a month from now on April 15th. This, to be clear, is not a final tally. It's not April 15th yet. This projection is based on historical data, the number of people who filed, paid, owed amounts of taxes, etc. It's worth taking a moment to put this number in some context. In case $500 billion doesn't do that for you on its own. I don't know if you saw the Jon Stewart interview from a few weeks ago about how if every wealthy American paid the taxes that they owe, we're not talking increasing their tax rate. We're talking just pay what you owe to the government, to the American people, to the taxpayers. If the richest Americans just paid their outstanding taxes, we could end poverty in America and house every single person. The rich do not want to pay their fair share. They do everything they can to avoid paying the taxes that they owe. If we were to just collect, and let's be very clear, the reason that they are firing so many IRS workers is because those workers collect the taxes owed by the very richest, the 0.5%, the 1%. Those are the folks who owe a shit ton of tax money, and they're getting away with not paying it. Because if you fire the folks whose job it is to investigate and collect that money, it doesn't get collected. Okay, enough of me. Let's get back to the article. So DOGE fucking up the IRS is going to cost American taxpayers $500 billion. Okay, let's get back to the article. So non-defense discretionary spending. So if you set aside our bloated defense budget, military spending, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, what we spend every year is about $917 billion. That is basically what we think of as the government, apart from those payment programs, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and the military. In other words, in 8 weeks, DOGE managed to lose the U.S. government, more or less to light on fire, more than half of what goes in to all non-defense discretionary spending for the entire United States for a year. Well done. Well done, DOGE. By fucking up the IRS and making sure that the wealthiest Americans will never have to pay the taxes that they owe, not only have you managed to not cut any waste, fraud, and abuse, you have cost the American taxpayers, the American government, half of our non-military discretionary spending for an entire year. Sounds efficient. Sounds efficient.